The Lost Out Collection. Story number 1, Trail Report. Report number 1, Peter Dincliffe, Head of Project Lost Out. Date, 10th of May, 1999. Today we start on Project Lost Out. I am making these reports on this project so that we may show how capable we are. The Council has given us the money and green light to make a nature trail out of the Lost Out forest. This is a big undertaking for my team, and it is the toughest challenge we've faced yet. But we will not be defeated. My team has been assigned to complete this in 2 months, which may sound like plenty of time, but I am sure that the days will pass us by instantaneously. Our plan is to make a single trail that goes through the forest, up to the lake, around it, and connect it back to the pathway. It will be a simple dirt pathway to save on money, as I have been instructed to do by the council, and it will feature a field of flowers and an empty grass area for picnics, barbecues, and other recreational activities. I have placed the Pritchard brothers on lake cleanup, Morgan and David on supply handling, buying, moving, and working with the finance team to keep our budget steady. Gary, Stephen, and Melissa are on forest clearing, felling trees, clearing logs, stumps, and bushes that might get in our way. And me, Dean, Brian, and Kyle will be actually making the pathway. After that, we'll get a few gardeners in to do the grass area and the flower field area. Report number 2, Peter Dincliffe, Head of Project Lost Out. Date, 17th of May, 1999. It has been a week now, and everything has been going smoothly. There have been no injuries, incidents, or budget concerns. I am proud to say that my team and I are on schedule. However, one matter concerns me about the project itself. I understand that Lost Out could end up being a bit of a tourist attraction due to the beauty of the area, but I doubt anyone would be interested in the local folklore about the forest, about a raging demon that carved people in the village outside of Lost Out thousands of years ago. If word got out about that to visitors, they'd probably want to stay well away from both the village and the trail we're making through Lost Out Forest. I may not have the authority to question the council on such matters, but I hope our work won't be for nothing. I like having extra cash in the bank and all, but I also don't like wasting my time. Report number 3, Peter Dincliffe, Head of Project Lost Out. Date, 20th of May, 1999. I would like to report good news on this day, but we seem to have a slight issue. We have guards patrolling the area at night, so that pesky teens don't enter the forest with their dark berry cider, cheap vodka and drugs, messing with our machinery, tools, and mucking up our work. However, our guards noticed something very peculiar last night. I spoke to them this morning, and they all told me the same story. At around 9:30 p.m, strange moaning sounds could be heard throughout the forest. Of course, a couple of men went to check it out, and upon returning back, they had not found anything or anyone that would make such a sound. I believe it to just be a fox that they couldn't find, as they do make screaming sounds at late hours. I'm not sure why though. They believe it to be some school kids mucking about, so they have asked if they could explore the grounds a bit more freely during their shifts, just to make sure they can catch anyone causing problems. I agreed with them. In fact, I think it's a good idea to give them as much roaming freedom as possible. You never know what's hiding behind a tree is something my grandma says constantly. Poor thing has dementia, so she's often stuck on a memory loop of when she went camping with my granddad. Anyway, whether the moaning sounds are youngsters, foxes, or spooky ghosts, I'm confident the guards will locate the source and safely escort them off from our construction site. Nothing else has happened throughout the day. No injuries, muck-ups, or budget concerns. Report number 4, Lucy Carmite, Head of Nighttime Security. Date 24th of May 1999. I have been asked by Mr. Dincliffe to write my own report for the Council about the experiences my team and I have encountered during the night security patrols on Project Lost Out. We've had a couple of injuries with our new men. It's nothing serious and nothing a couple of plasters can't solve. They've just been a bit incompetent with their surroundings. They trip, they fall. They claim that their torches keep going out, but we constantly make sure to check our batteries regularly to make sure they're not going to go out on us. There have also been these strange moaning sounds. Whenever we hear them, we send a couple of men out to investigate, but they always come back empty-handed. I think that the next time we hear those noises, I will go myself. I don't mean to brag, but I have more guts and competence than most of the men here. A lady has to learn to look after herself, after all. I've heard the creepy ghost stories about this forest. All of them. I mean, I like ghost stories. It's a good tool to toughen up the men, scare them a bit, and pass the time during our breaks. However, I don't believe there are any monsters, ghouls, or spooks in the forest. It's probably some school lads messing with us. If it is, they're pretty consistent and they must be good at hiding. It might even be some sort of tape recording or something, hidden in a tree somewhere. Report number 5, Lucy Carmite, Head of Nighttime Security. Date 25th of May 1999. Turns out that my incompetent men aren't so incompetent after all. I took those 2 men with me when searching for a strange moaning sound, and their torches going off was not due to them not checking it. So their cuts, bruises, are not their own fault. We put new batteries in all our torches before heading out, so there was no way they would go out. However, just as we were getting close to the source of the moaning sound, our torches went out. All at the same time. That's no coincidence. Maybe the council doesn't believe in spirits or supernatural stuff, but me and the 2 guys, Dominic and Trevor, do believe in it. We decided to keep going. We got into a line. Dominic put his hand on Trevor's shoulder and he put his on mine. I walked us right up to the source of the moaning. It was a massive oak tree, probably the thickest and tallest one in the forest. I think we should chop it down. It could be some elaborate prank by some secondary school students who just learned some crazy science experiments that can drain batteries, and they might have climbed the tree and put a radio thing in one of the high branches and put it on full blast. It probably needs to be chopped down for the trail anyway. Report number 6, Peter Dincliffe, Head of Project Lost Out. Date 31st of May 1999. Some slight budget concerns. Looks like Morgan and David are cracking under pressure. We are also starting to fall behind schedule a tiny bit. The lads are complaining about this heat wave. I can understand why. I've made sure to provide plenty of water for them while they work. I even let them have ice cream on break today, so our morale should perk back up shortly. Thankfully, there are no injuries or other concerns to report on. I have considered Miss Carmike's suggestion about the large oak tree and I have decided that we should get it cut down. It will be in the way of the pathway through the forest, so I'll get Gary, Stephen and Melissa right on it. I saw her report. It does seem a bit spooky that all their torches went out at the exact same time when they got close to the source of the strange moaning sounds. Oh well, I'm sure they'll be fine. I told them that if they ever have to go near that tree again, they should take an extra torch, just to be on the safe side. Report number 7, Peter Dincliffe, Head of Project Lost Out, date 7th of June 1999. The heat has calmed down a bit. We had to stop all our work on the 4th due to that storm. There was too much rain, too much wind and too much lightning. There have been no casualties, so that's great news, right? Gary, Stephen and Melissa haven't gotten around to getting rid of that massive oak tree just yet. but they said they're almost there. That's good, no more strange moaning at night. Today was Dean's birthday, so we had a bit of a banquet on our lunch break, all out of my own pocket, since he's a good friend of mine. Aren't I just the best gaffer you've ever seen? Of course I am. Morale is high, we're back on schedule, and there are no problems to report. We even have our budget back under control. I can't believe it's already been a month since we started this project. We've got a lot left to go, but I feel confident that we can finish on time. I've heard that the tree will be turned into various wooden materials for the council to use for construction work, so that's a good plan. Saves us a lot of money on wood stuff. I feel like our victory against that massive oak should be something special though. Once we get it removed, I'm going to put a request in for it to be turned into some sort of personal items for everyone involved in this project. Even the security staff. It would be a really nice thing, and I am sure the money we're saving on this wood should be able to cover it. That would also boost morale greatly. My team will put in twice the effort. I'm sure of it. Report number 8, Stephen Hossington, Tree Felling Captain. Date 9th of June 1999. The gaffer told me to write up a report on the state of my mental health. He thought that writing about it in my own words, but professionally, would help me to understand things better, as well as me being clear about how I feel within myself. He said that you council lads and lasses need to hear about it, and I'm the only one who actually knows how I feel. So I need to do it. Therapy reports in one are proper strange. I don't have a history of mental health problems. Ask any of the lads about me and they'll tell you I'm a happy chap most of the time. Only time I'm a bit down is when me and the missus get into an argument. But even then, that's not too often. All of a sudden, I start to hear these voices in my head. I never really understand what they're saying, but it's like they're calling out to me and drawing me closer to it. I also seem to have some sort of depression and lack of concentration. I can't focus on my work because of the voices, and I also feel sad, or something along those lines. It's as if I'm being slowly dragged under the sea. I don't think that would be a very happy and fun time though. It all started yesterday. I dealt the final blow to that great oak tree we were working on. We had a couple of minutes of a break just to celebrate, wipe the sweat off our heads, and catch our breath. I must have been so happy that now I feel like there is no joy left in my life, as if it's been pushed out of me. I'm not sciencey and all that, so I won't pretend to know about how emotions or brains work, and I'm no doctor, so I can't tell you for sure what's wrong with me. If these problems persist, I will go and see my doctor about it. Surely it can't be the tree's fault. It's not haunted or cursed, right? There is no way that it could be. Report number 9, Lucy Carmite, Head of Nighttime Security. Date 9th of June 1999. I thought it was a good idea to chop that tree down, but I heard what happened to Mr. Hossington, and I can't help but notice that his affliction lines up with when we finished chopping down that tree. Now, it could be a coincidence, but maybe one of those ghost stories might be true. Maybe even a folk story about that demon tearing up a village, ripping apart its victims limb by limb. Or maybe I'm just paranoid. The moaning has stopped at least, so I'm very thankful about that. But as one door closes, another one opens. We've caught some lads getting drunk and messing about in the forest today. They got a bit hectic, so we got the police involved. Hopefully that will be a wake-up call for them. They can't be young and stupid forever. They've got their exams to get through before they're allowed to take it easy. I bet their parents are furious with them. Ah, to be young and stupid. I'd love to change the clocks if I can, but that's just not how life works, I'm afraid. Report number 10, Peter Dinkliffe, head of Project Lost Out. Date 14th of June 1999. I'm starting to get worried about Stephen. He's really out of it lately. He told me his doctor needs him to have a psychological evaluation to see if he needs counselling, medication, or both. I really hope he gets the help he needs. I've known him for not too long, but he's great at his job, and he's usually so upbeat, always having a laugh with the others. It's actually a little bit heartbreaking to see a good man act so lost and sorrowful. I'll have to keep my eye on him and make sure he doesn't do something stupid like hurting himself. He's asked for his tree trophy to be made into an empty diary. I didn't know he liked to write about his life, but that's what he wants. So that's what I'll aim to sort out for him. Maybe getting this diary will cheer him up a bit. As for a project, we're still on schedule. We've contracted some gardeners to help with the grass area and flower meadow thing. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. I have a lot of faith in their abilities. We're getting close to finishing this project, and I'm really glad about that. It's been tough, but we've managed to everything really well, and I'm proud of the work we've accomplished here. I just hope it's all worth it in the end. Report number 11, Peter Dinkliffe, head of Project Lost Out. Date 21st of June 1999. The weather has been scorching this week, so the lads have been taking more breaks than usual. We're still on schedule though. I've gotten some of the tree trophies sorted now and given out. Melissa has her wooden rabbit, Gary has himself a lovely wooden cup, and poor Stephen has his diary. I really can't help but feel sorry for Stephen. He's been given both medication and a counsellor. He's still not all there yet, but I think he's improving. He seems a bit more focused, but he's also talking a lot less now. Maybe talking to a counsellor wears you out from talking? I don't know. We have, however, had a bit of an incident. A digger actually went a bit out of control and somehow ended up in the lake with one of the Pritchard brothers, Daz, still in it. He nearly drowned, poor lad. He's fine now. They actually had to take him to the hospital. I can't imagine drowning, especially not while being trapped in a digger. He'll be back in a couple of days, so that's positive news. Report number 12, Peter Dinkliffe, head of Project Lost Out. Date 28th of June 1999. We're almost done with the project. It's been a long time coming, but the end is in sight. Just one more week left now. Daz Pritchard is back with us and suffered no more injuries or trauma after nearly drowning. There has been no more strange moaning or silly school kids mucking about at night. Stephen even seems a bit better this week, and I'm really glad to see him finally getting his mind back. I guess those meds and counselling just might be helping. It's a good thing. I bet his son Jeffrey must have been really worried about him. Report number 13. Peter Dinkliffe, head of Project Lost Out. Date 5th of July 1999. The project is complete, but I fear it was not worth it. It's an amazing nature trail, but Stephen Hossington has gone missing. No one has seen him for about a week now. Everyone is really worried about him. He was a good man, and it's as if that tree infected his mind. Of course, no one will believe or admit to something like that. I just hope someone finds him soon, alive and well.